Here's a great shot. I was on stage with Bob Hope.
This black and white photograph that you see here was taken by a veteran photographer who served in Southeast Asia. Today he shares his story as he also honors his fellow American servicemen.
Monument to the veterans of the war in Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia.
Long Island native Peter Seminoff, a military veteran of the Vietnam War, reads a monument dedicated to his fallen comrades at the Veterans Memorial Park in East Meadow.
I come here every few years to reflect on my days in serving in Vietnam many, many years ago. We all know that thousands of Americans lost their lives, thousands of Americans were taken prisoners of war, and it was bad times for us. We were all 17, 18, 19-year-old kids in the war zone, not like it is today.
The park is filled with memorials honoring fallen war heroes, some as a simple plaque on a stone, some as elaborate as sculptures on engraved walls, all somber observances of the past.
These pictures are taken Lon Binh, 1969.
He has his personal memoir, black and white photographs that he shot during his tour of duty while stationed in Vietnam. He was drafted in the summer of 1968, serving 3 years until he was discharged in 1971.
This is a picture of me taken outside in a military base outside of Saigon. I was talking on a phone. We were in a communication site. I was talking back.
Employed in the Signal Corps while stationed in the town of Long Binh, Seminoff quickly turned his hobby into a passion. Using his Pentax 35mm camera that he purchased in Japan in 1968, he captured the Bob Hope USO show in Long Binh, 17 miles northwest of the fighting city of Saigon.
It was a classified show. No one knew exactly when he was coming to the 2 different locations in Vietnam because of security. There was a bounty on his head per se, and so it was classified. We knew within a couple days that Bob Hope show was coming to this location, and we just hung out for a couple days and waiting for him to show up. That's Connie Stevens. The Gold Diggers were right behind them. And that's Teresa Graves, if I remember. Miss Universe. Bob Hope came to entertain the troops. There's just thousands of us forgetting about the situation in the war. They were relaxed, in a very relaxed mode at the time during his yearly USO shows. If everybody remembers, Bob Hope used to travel around the world giving these USO show tours, usually Christmas time or New Year's Eve time.
Through his camera lens, Seminoff captured his fellow soldiers heading into Saigon, the capital of Vietnam, and the local people of the southern villages.
These are just pictures of the Saigon River, and you can see how the people live, the locals live, with their straw huts. Not the greatest. Here's a picture of me outside my barracks and the sandbags to protect us and incoming artillery. This young Vietnamese girl used to clean our clothes, clean our barracks. And this is a picture of me. We were building a walkway around our communication site. We were framing it out. This is a picture of the barrack area where I was stationed in Long Binh, between the buildings. This is a shot in the barrack area in Long Binh, 1969, and some sandbag areas. If we got incoming artillery, we'd crawl inside for protection. This is off of Highway number 1 between Long Binh and Saigon, which we frequently took trips during. And this is the Saigon River, and you can see the different local boats and ships. Here's a couple of pictures I've taken a long, long time ago. The local way people lived, the poor people, they had straw huts, living in these small little compounds. And you can see barbed wire in these pictures wrapped around their little villages. More rice paddies. Everywhere you go, we used to see rice paddies.
The heaviest combat fighting took place in Saigon, but it was also a peaceful place for Seminoff and other servicemen.
We could walk around Saigon without our rifles, without our steel pots on, without our flak vests. It was just like walking through Manhattan at the time, but everybody's up on edge because technically it's still in a war zone. But it was very, very peaceful compared to the rest of the war zone.
Over 33,000 soldiers lost their lives in the war in Vietnam. The Veterans Memorial Park honors those fallen heroes. For Push Pause, this is Archie Snowden.